Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my series where I'm taking a look at all 30 NBA teams, analyzing each team's off-season so I can explain to viewers on how I think their team will perform this upcoming season. The team we'll be taking a look at today is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cavs won 51 games in the regular season and clinched the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. Um, this was their first playoff appearance in 5 seasons, and this is coming off the heels of making the play-in tournament the year before, so they definitely have shown a lot of good progress. So in the first round, they were tasked to play against the New York Knicks. In game one, they lost at home to the Knicks, but they bounced back in game two, winning a really one-sided game and driving a lot of hope that they could come back and win this series. Unfortunately for them, they would go on and lose the next 3 games and lose the series in 5 games and be eliminated from playoff contention. This can definitely still be looked at as a very positive season for the Cavs, um, just because this is the first playoff appearance in 5 seasons, as well as acquiring guard Donovan Mitchell, who I think will continue to help this team ascend. Now let's take a look at free agency and the draft and see what kind of moves the Cavs made. So first off, in the 2023 NBA draft, the Cavs had a second round pick, and they used that to draft Imani Bates from the University of Eastern Michigan. Imani Bates was considered a top 3 prospect in his draft class. In his first freshman season, he played for the University of Memphis, and he dealt with a lot of injuries, including a very serious back injury that limited him to only about 15 games. This led him to transferring to University of Eastern Michigan last season, and he averaged nearly 20 points per game, rebounded his value, and showed that he was the same guy that was highly regarded in high school. And then on top of that, in the NBA Summer League, he averaged 17 points per game and shot over 40% from three. I don't think he'll have much of a role with Cleveland this upcoming season, but he's definitely a good building block to go forward. And then the Cavs signed Georges Niang, the former Philadelphia 76er, to a 3-year deal at $20.5 million. George is a lights-out shooter. He shot over 40% from three last season, and he's shown that he can be a floor stretcher and really help improve the spacing for Cleveland, which is something that they've really struggled with. I think he'll have a complementary role off the bench, and he'll be a very good addition for this ball club. Next, they signed Ty Jerome to a veteran's minimum contract. Ty's bounced around. He's played with OKC as well as Golden State Warriors, and he had one of the best seasons of his career last year with the Warriors, where he shot career high 49% from the field. He could potentially fit in and play a backup role, especially early on in the season, with Ricky Rubio away from the team due to some mental health issues. We wishing Ricky the best, and hopefully he'll bounce back and can continue his illustrious career. And then the Cavs signed former Cavalier Tristan Thompson back to the squad. Tristan's won a championship with Cleveland, but at this point in his career, he's more of a mentor and potentially a guy maybe that will get a few minutes here and there. Can still bring some toughness, but will not add a lot to the court. The team then signed Caris LeVert to a 2-year, $32 million deal. LeVert averaged 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists last year and shot almost 40% from three, which was easily a career high. He plays a role of the sixth man, the first guy off the bench, and I think he'll continue to play that role. They need LeVert to be aggressive and really help this second unit. And then the Cavs pulled off a very significant sign-in trade with the Miami Heat. So they were able to acquire Max Strus, who they signed for 4 years and $62 million. They did lose the service of Chetty Osman, as well as Lamar Stevens, who were role players in this trade. But adding Strus is definitely a big move for them. Strus played a big role with the Miami Heat for the past couple of seasons. He shot 35% from three last year. Year before that, he had shot 41%. So a little bit of a decline in his three-point percentage, but he's still a very respectable three-point shooter, and I think he'll be a big addition to this ball club. I do think the price tag was a bit high. Cleveland might have overbid for his services, but they desperately needed a three-point shooter from the wing spot. So I think this is definitely a very good addition for the ball club. Ultimately, this team has a core four that will really determine its success. The first and unquestioned leader of this group is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan had career highs in points per game as well as field goal percentage last year, so he showed that even if he has to shoulder a bigger offensive load, he can do it efficiently. Donovan made the All-Star team last season as well as the 3 seasons before that, so he showed that he's a bona fide superstar. Next, we have Darius Garland, who's a year removed from making the All-Star team. He averaged 22 points per game and shot a career high 41% from three. So he showed that even if he has to play off the ball, he can do it very efficiently. And then when he is on the ball, he's a playmaking extraordinaire. Averaged almost 8 assists per game last season. Next, we move to the two big men. First of which is Jared Allen, commonly known as the Fro. He's 1 year removed from making the All-Star team. He's a walking double-double, and he's one of the best rim protectors in basketball. Then finally, we look at Evan Mobley, who's only been in the NBA for 2 seasons, but he already looks like a seasoned vet. He averaged 16 and 9 last season, was in the race for Defensive Player of the Year, and is already showing to be one of the best defenders in all of basketball. Then you add in newcomers like Max Strus, George Niang, as well as six-man Karis LeVert, and then hopefully at some point Ricky Rubio, as well as youngster Isaac Okoro. And you have a team that's really balanced, really solid basketball team that, in my opinion, will make it past the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs and will continue to ascend. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Thank you so much.